If you have a child under 16 on Instagram, you might soon have a little more control over what they're doing online on Instagram. It's rolling out 18 accounts, automatically turning accounts private and restricting users from seeing violent or harmful posts. Parents will have more power to set daily time limits and see what their kid is viewing online. This is great. So, do you think this is gonna have any impact? Mel, you're shaking your head no. Okay. Listen, we have people in the audience cheering.
It sounds really good.
Is it too little, too late?
Not only is it too little, too late. I mean, that's like trying to tell a smoker, like, just stop smoking. Like, we're all in, kids, adults, we're all addicted. To just say that these things in place, like, I don't know the last time that you've been with a teenager, but all the age restrictions that were supposedly put in place, they've already figured out the workaround. Like, the kids are already 2 steps ahead. This is 2 steps behind. You know, Sir Nick Clegg is an executive with Meta who owns Instagram. He admitted openly, like last year, that even when they put these parental controls in place, that parents either don't use them or don't know how to use them.
Oh, boy.
In other words, it's useless. So what I think is this sounds good. It's already too little, too late. We are all addicted. So unless mom and dad are working on our addiction, we can't expect the kids are going to police themselves. They won't, they can't, we're incapable. This is where we need to bring back the collective. We always talk about the village has disappeared in child rearing. You don't want your kid to be the only one without a phone, right? Like, I think this is what so many people talk about. So what if you listen to Jonathan Haidt, he wrote this book that I think every single parent of a child today must read. It is called The Anxious Generation, and it is about how smartphones have destroyed our children. And he has 4 things that we can do. And I don't want to get it wrong, and I want to make it quick. Number 1, no smartphones before high school.
Okay.
No, before age 14. You know what he says instead? Dumb phones. Get a flip phone.
Oh, yeah.
Dumb phones. Number 2, no social media before 16. The psychological impact before that age is absolutely detrimental. Phone-free schools. I don't know if everybody notices. My daughter's school is now phone free. Yes.
Implement that in
and that's it. And finally, number 4, far more free play and independence. Ditch the tech and get outside.
Interesting. You also...
I actually have a question for parents because I'm not a parent. I only have cats, and that's all I have to worry about. But like, in terms of policing their phone, is it weird to go into their phone and check what they're doing? Because to me, that's the only way that you can actually see what's on their phone, what they're doing on social media,
the photos.
Well, in this case, with these changes, my son is only 11. He does not have a phone, and we are going to do everything we can to delay that as long as possible. But I think that they're leaving the messages themselves private, but parents have to approve under a certain age who they are in contact with, which is not that different from what it is on Facebook Messenger for kids right now. I will say that I think that the cat is out of the barn. What's the
Cat out of the bag.
That's out of the bag. Horse left the barn.
I think this is like the drug dealer is on the school, and instead of the drug dealer just being able to sell his wares at any time of the day, we're saying like, oh, just sometimes the day. It's ridiculous. We are all addicts. Everything you said is correct. I just feel like I don't know where we go from here because we want to protect our children and we love our children, and I think that there's just
I don't want you to get angry, but I have a question. Do you think it's the parent's responsibility to, if you're going to give your kid a smartphone, to really, doesn't matter what Meta or any of these executives, no one's going to love your baby the way you love your baby.
It's
right? So is it? That's why I'm ignoring, like, to me, I'm like, that sounds nice, but you're right, it just sounds like lip service. Is it really gonna be the parents deciding if you're gonna give your kid this phone and what kind of information you're gonna give them when you hand them this phone and the restrictions? Does it come back to the parents'
It's just not as simple that, unfortunately. I think that there's so much pressure for parents right now, right? There's not only the social pressure, like you don't want your kid to be the only one without a phone. There are parents who are really just struggling to just get through the day. And unfortunately, and again, I'm not saying it's right, but it is easy to just be like, okay, you know what? You can talk with your friends online for a few minutes. Like, it's very easy to give the smartphone. You're right, we have to parent at the end of the day, but I think that means you underestimate just how sophisticated these little devices are for hacking not just their brains, but our brains. It's not as easy as just say no. It's just not.
Plus, I mean, the thing is you got parents who are working multiple jobs. They're, they're not able to watch a kid every 2 seconds.
I think the problem is bigger. I think that the problem is that we have these apps and they're just allowed to like be on our phones and there's no regulation. regulation. The government doesn't get involved until there's a problem.
Yes.
And I think that should be a wake-up call for anybody who has any kind of like power to like control the regulations, to be like, you can't just let somebody in Silicon Valley who came up with a really good idea just put it on our phones and then we deal with the repercussions later. That's what we're really dealing with. These people did this on purpose, and now they're just like, oh, we're sorry. What we're gonna do is...
Are you basically saying, why didn't they launch it from the early days
Well,
with these parameters in place?
And also because they were trying to make money and they didn't care until they saw how much of a problem it was.
And if you're just
right?
fixing Instagram, what about TikTok? What about YouTube? There's all
There's
these
a lot
other
of other
ones. So,
platforms.
Well, that means
They'll
the kids
find
are leaving
something new.
Instagram
Do
and
you
the
think
kids are
the
going
day
to
will
TikTok.
ever come where social media is just eliminated? Where just none of us are going to do it again?
Never.
Never?
No.
I hope so. I think it should be at some point in time. Hopefully, we will realize.
We're all
But
moving to Mars.
I like seeing my
We're
cat
moving to
videos,
Mars.
so.
No Wi-Fi.
No, Mars is like, please don't come here. Stay there.
Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.